Hi, my name's John Wright, and I am not DB Cooper, even though my face has been plastered across the United States. But I will tell you a story about, I think the last story I talked about in El Camino in 1967, El Camino. You know, I got this El Camino from my brother Jerry, and it was quite the basket case when I got it. And I still owed money, or he owed money on it down at the bank down there in Morton, the Puget Bank. And anyway, I fixed that car and I paid off that car. I took over the payments on that car. It came to me as a basket case. Anyway, I found it. It was out there on Davis Lake Road, out there near where Skip Davis was found, actually. Just right there. Really close to where that car was. As I'm sitting here thinking about that right now. You know, it's funny how I come up with things and I start thinking about things. So anyway, I got this car. Matter of fact, Tom Costin took me over there to get that car when I bought it. I found it right out there, and Tom Costin lives right there in Morton, just right there where the Morton Hospital is, just one little quarter of the block up. About the fourth place, right there, Tom Costin. His dad lived there, and Tom received that piece of property when his dad passed away, and his brother, John, I don't think John gave a fuck, to be honest with you. John was like me, John. As a matter of fact, me and John Costin, uptown at the Wheel Cafe, we ripped this thing off, the Morton Jubilee thing off the sign inside of the Wheel Cafe one night on a Jubilee night when me and John was uptown, and we ripped that thing off. And then when I seen the ripped off letters on that bowling alley in Morton, Washington, somebody ripped off the bowling alley, and my dad told me that the money was stolen for that bowling alley and somebody else knew it. And what's going on? I mean, I tell you, the stories that I've told you are true. The things that you have seen are true, and just because it's happened to me, I don't want it to happen to you. Is what I'd like to tell America, and I don't want it to happen to anybody anymore. You know, I sit here with my little sock hat on because one thing I got my lights on and stuff, and people come by and I wave to them, or I'll pick up my guitar and I'll play to them. You know, or I'll play, and people fucking stop right up. I have cops that slowly drive by these days, and they know I don't really care, you know. So anyway, I'll tell you about a story about that El Camino. Tom Costin pulled that El Camino across town with his dad's Jeep. He drove it all the way across town from Davis Lake Road back there over there from where that Twin Star Credit Union is, and that museum right across the street from it where they mark their territory. All the way across, we went right downtown Morton, turned at the intersection. He pulled me all the way down to that place, down to my dad's bowling alley there, without a wheel on the back of that car. The wheel had come off that car when he started pulling it forward. The rear end was blown out in it. I didn't know that the axles would come out of that rear end, and one of the axles had came out of that rear end, and that car got drug all the way across town. You know, with on the cement, it just cut the housing off of it. You know where the axle goes in. The brake shoes and stuff was gone. The axle, it was like half gone where it goes in the circle right there. It's like that instead of round. It was like that. So anyway, I got that car fixed. I went out and I got a new rear end from out of a car out at Swayze's junkyard at Mineral, Washington, where most cars go when they're being junked out. My dad's blue car that my dad cut in half, he desperately put it in the dump right outside of Morton, Washington. So, but anyway, now that El Camino, I ended up putting that car all back together and it was running fine. And, in time, things happen. When your dad is DB Cooper, you can get away with a lot of shit, I tell you. You know, I used to have bank bags filled with money. Matter of fact, I still have bank bags. But I would take bank bags and I'd have them filled with money shoved up underneath that dash on that El Camino. You could stick things up in there, up above the glove box. You could just reach up there and you could stick it right on the shelf that's up there. And I'll tell you what, you'd probably put dope up there, ounces of weed and stuff. The people that own those cars, and I'm sure that Jerry Wright did that very thing because I seen Jerry Wright digging up there too. So that's where I put my thing. He probably didn't think I'd put my stuff up there, but I would. Anyway, especially if it was money. So anyway, um, I got that El Camino fixed, and I'll tell you, this one time I was out at my sister Bonnie's, and I broke the air shock line, and I was heading out to Morton, and the faster you drove that car, it would pick up a little bit off the tires, and it had great big tires under it, and the tires started rubbing, and the air shock line broke on the way, so I was just screwed. So the faster I could drive that car, the more that car would lift up as I'm just traveling as fast as I can towards Morton. And I'm going out there, and I went straight down the freeway, and somewhere there, my hijacker's uh, air shocks line broke on on that El Camino, and the fucking it started squatting down. The faster I drove it, it would pick up. Here I'm a kid, I do things stupid. So here I go down the I-5. I get down to Highway 12 and I turn. I'm going towards Morton, Washington. I get going down and I'm right there where Mary's Corner is. Or no, I guess that's Mary's Corner. Yeah, it's Mary's Corner. And I just shooting through there. I have a caution light. They have a red light. I just go flying through there. And Mike Heron is sitting there with the state patrol. And there I go. And Mike Heron goes, "Oh, shit!" And he got on he got on Highway 12 and he started chasing me. And he chased me for 11 miles. It's my place. I don't care. So anyway, Mike Heron starts chasing me, and I go 11 miles to Salcombe and come down the hill like this, and there's a 66 gas station right there, and I'm pulled in. I'm going to check my airlines. I'm going to air it up is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put a gallon of gas in or so, just not very much gas. Anyway, it eats gas. This thing is very fast. It has a 396 with 427 heads in it, rock crusher transmission. It's really quick, ladder bars. So anyway, I'm down there, and those guys, when I come in there, and these guys just run out. Jesus Christ, what came in here? Big block with Doug Thorley headers, 3.5-inch tube headers. I mean, this thing sounds good. And, they're out there looking at it. They come out there like it's a speed shop. These guys coming out there, putting my gas in, fucking checking my airlocks, my lines and stuff, and went right there. And all of a sudden we look up, and here comes that state patrol over the hill like this. Coming over the hill, and he's coming down like this. And I said to him, I go, God, I'm glad he's not chasing me. And here comes that state patrol's car, just fucking comes in there, it doesn't slide, he just stops firm. And he fucking jumps out of his car and he runs up to me and he grabs me and he just backs me up right there where my fender is. And he throws me up on my hood scoop. And I'm trying to get goddamn back away from him. What the fuck's wrong with you, Mike Heron? Is what I'm thinking. And he says, "Gee, you know how far? Do you know how fast? Do you know? I go, "No, I don't know. I've been chasing you for 11 miles. You put past me at 147 miles an hour. Do you have any idea what that looks like when you wreck? And I'm like, oh, I just tried to. My Karen, he just fucking threw me on that fuck. I've never been thrown anywhere like that before. He was pissed. And he goes, if you get a fucking wreck, I don't want to be the one that has to scoop you up off the road with a scoop of shovel and put you in a body bag, and I'll have to go and tell your dad what has happened to you. You know, like he owes my dad allegiance or something, you know. I'm like, God damn. You know, yes, these guys do bowl in the bowling alley on their state patrol night of the week. Him and Harry Mitten and who else? I mean, but this fucking happens when you're DB Cooper's son and you've got a car that has 500 horsepower easily, a cam that has 510 lift, 510 duration, 11 to 1 pistons, balanced, blueprinted, Doug Thorley headers, Tarantula hood scoop, Holly 780 on it, and runs like wildfire. Yeah, wildfire. That's like my dad's word for my sister Bonnie. Just pick up the phone. Wildfire, Bonnie. Oh, geez, not that. Rawr. I don't know. He told me all he does is pick up the phone, say wildfire, and he can make it happen. Jesus Christ, look at Mike Heron telling me this here stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. You know, I'll have to tell your dad I put you in a body bag. I don't know if I ever got to see Mike Heron again after that. And I'll tell you another time that right in front of the bowling alley, I went out and I know that I had some alcohol. And I got pulled over just right there's the bowling alley right here. And I got pulled over right here. And our house is now here. They moved it from right here at Cooper's place right over here to this Cooper's place at Alpine Bowl. See, the trailer was moved. And so here I get pulled over right here. And when the cops come to the door, I goddamn know all the cops, you know. So I reach down there and I hold the door like closed like this when they come up. They go, you know, they pulled me over, you know. I shut off the car. I left the hood, the lights on. Well, that was a bad sign right off the bat. I held my door closed. They're like, you know, they come up and they go, hey, can you roll down your window? I go, no. You know, then I rolled it down probably. Then all of a sudden he goes and he opened up the door. And when he opened the door, I fell right on the ground right there. And he goes, Jesus, you're drunk. He says, get home. And he fucking gets me in my seat. He says, you just live right there, John. You know, I mean, he just drive straight home, you know. So I just drive right over there, he says, and I just shut off the car in that driveway, and right there, there's a trailer right in front of me, and I pulled right there. There's a bowling alley. Right there's the trailer, right there's the trailer in the house, and there's the driveway. And that's where I park my car all the time, and all the cops know right where my car is because they see my El Camino parked in front of the bowling alley. They know where the fuck I am. I mean, I've got the blue El Camino in town. Nobody has a faster car than me. Even Jim Van Cleveland has that 67 Fairlane down there that races on Hot Rod Magazine nationally across the United States of America. It's right there. I work for Jim Van Cleve. I gotta, you know, maybe probably shine up that car too because I shined up the rest of them. Anyway, talked to Jim Van Cleve. He shook my hand the last time I seen him. I held his hand. I wouldn't let it go. I told him I was going to find out what was going on around this place. Call Jim Van Cleve, Morton, Washington. Buy a Ford from him today and tell him, John Wright sent you. I've sent lots of people business to a lot of different businesses in Lewis County, Washington. They goddamn all know me. I'm like, their best friend is selling product. Anyway, Johnny Product Tester here, and I'm known nationally across the United States of America. And have a nice day. Bye-bye.